Greetings and welcome to another edition of VSN Volleyball Weekly. Eric Richey, so pleased to be joined by Coach Jodee Pulizzano. We took a week off. We had to take care of some stuff, but guess what? We're back, raring to go, getting ready for the close of the regular season and the beginning of the postseason. Before we even go any further, Coach Jodee, are you ready to flip the coin and see who starts this show?
I am ready.
Let us flip the coin. You call it in the air.
Heads.
Here we go. It is tails. It is tails. I get to choose. I'll go first. I'm going to serve. I'm going to go on the offense right off the bat. And I'm going to throw you a curveball just because I'm not even going to talk about high school volleyball. Kind of I am, though. I'm going to bring it back full circle. I'm going to talk about what has kept VSN busy for the last couple of days. That is college beach volleyball. Yes, that's right. College beach volleyball, the Coconut Beach College Beach Volleyball Pairs Tournament took place Saturday and Sunday at Coconut Beach. College teams from all over: LSU, Tulane, UNO, Southeastern, Spring Hill, UAB, and Southern Miss. Actually, it was Southern Miss's head coach, Sean Taylor, that really kind of thought about this idea of having this pairs tournament along with Rob Bruce at Coconut Beach, and they did a whale of a job. We covered it from start to finish on Sunday from championship court 5, and that's what I want to do. I'm going to shine the spotlight. We have some video. Coach Jodee, local players shined this weekend in a big way. Right there in the back there, that lefty, familiar. Yeah, two-time Gatorade Player of the Year in indoor, Kate Baker, got the job done for LSU. A terrible season for her last year, freak injury, had to redshirt, but she was 4-0 on Saturday alone. Now, tough to see, but coming up here, big hit. Mount Carmel fans will remember that. Yeah, that's big Olivia Stant getting the job done for UAB. She played great volleyball all weekend as well. How about a pair of local players? Hannah Volpe from Chappelle and Anne-Marie Hardwin from Dominican getting the job done. Look at the great play right here. Watch the tomahawk coming up by Dominican's own Anne-Marie Hardwin, now a freshman, along with the fifth-year senior Volpe. They went 3-0 on Saturday, then played on championship court for us at VSN and did spectacular job. Did I say spectacular job? Hitting the ball, there's Mount Carmel grad. Yes, indeed. We're talking Emily Meyer, now a transfer to LSU. Coach, she won the whole thing with her partner, Riley Allred, the pink division. That was the big one. Take another look at the replay. She puts it down here on Match Point. So local players shining, those are the ones that we just got highlights of, but there were several other local players out there, Coach Jodee. I know your niece, Megan, plays for Spring Hill. She does both indoor and beach, so they didn't bring everybody. Also at Spring Hill, a couple other local players. Emma Warren, who got injured last year for STM late in the year. She was out there competing, as was from Dominican, Anne-Marie Hardwin's older sister, Liz Hardwin, was out there. So those are the ones that I saw, and I certainly wanted to shine the spotlight on the local players, especially since they did so well. So that's your serve. What do you got, Coach Jodee, for a serve receive?
Serve receive. I'm going to teach you a little bit about volleyball and why certain teams are successful. So defensive systems are very important in volleyball, meaning the players aren't just standing in spots. There's different types of systems they can use. So I'm going to go over 3 most popular ones and their strengths and weaknesses. So good and great defense depends on the coordination of the block and the back row defense. So sometimes when you see the ball hit the ground, it's not because the defense, the back row players, are doing anything wrong. It's because they were supposedly blocking line or angle, and the block doesn't necessarily do that. So your defense is put in a position where it is very it's weak in certain spots. So I'm going to go over 3 defenses that high school teams run, and I'm sure they run a mix of them, but perimeter defense, of course, is my favorite. And basically perimeter defense is your defensive players are on the perimeter, and your block is basically taking out a part of the court, which is the sharp angle or the angle. So basically the libero, which is in the back, usually plays center back at this time, and they either read right or left. They do not want to stand behind the block because the block is taking out part of the court, and that's what the block is there for. The second type of defense is the man up or red defense. A lot of teams do not play this. However, it is to take out the tip. So basically, the setter goes behind the block, not in the right side or the left side, but right behind the block to be able to take the tip the whole way. That frees up the 3 other people in the back row to basically dig the entire court. So there are weaknesses, but again, the block is taking out the entire ball on that. Okay, and the last one is rotation defense, which a lot of high school volleyball teams use. And basically, rotation defense is you're putting kids in a position to dig. So your block is blocking angle and you're letting the team hit line. Okay. And basically what happens is you're moving the setter or right back up to take the tip, and you're moving the libero to the line to dig the line. A lot of teams throughout Louisiana will do a mix between perimeter and rotation because teams are now hitting line and they're not hitting angle. So if you watch the Dominican Mount Carmel game, that's what those coaches were doing, a mix of both rotation and perimeter. And I think it's important for you to understand that the kids aren't just standing out there in one spot. They're definitely strategies. Like I'm going to talk to Coach Taylor about regarding actually how you play defense and what you're trying to accomplish and what you're telling your block to do. Your defense depends on how your block is. And it does not matter if they block the total ball. You want them to take out an area on the court. So hopefully this helps. So the next time you watch volleyball, you can figure out what kind of defense they're running.
Coach, what do they say about defense in sports? What's the term about defense?
Defense wins games. Defense wins games.
Defense wins championships.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Defense wins championships. My bad.
That's
yes,
okay.
It really does.
And I know that is just going to any of your practices before. It doesn't take very long to figure out that you put a lot of emphasis on defense, and there's a reason why you have about 1,000 career wins. Your teams were excellent defensively. And speaking of excellent defensively, let's break down a game from this past week as we hit our VSN volleyball rewind. I don't know if there's been a better defensive game I've seen recently than this Turlings Catholic St. Thomas More. Our spotlight video matchup last week, it reminded me of the Mount Carmel Dominican game. Look at that, standing room only. Here's the right side setter for St. Thomas More, Rylan Machado. Ryan played brilliantly, ties it up 23-23. And this here is going to go a little long on set point at 24-23. So St. Thomas More, coach, wins this first set. But man, did Turlings Catholic come back. And look at this atmosphere, huh? This in a small gym, it was great.
Well, the first game, Turlings was winning by a lot, and St. Thomas More methodically comes back and takes the first game. But Turlings had the entire momentum of the game. They were controlling every point, and St. Thomas More just opened the door slowly, and comes back in. But it all has to do with defense.
Watch this rally.
Coaches, yep.
Watch the rally. Kenley Nonato made 2 unbelievable, make it 3 unbelievable plays in this long dig. And then finally, Charlie Boulay gets the kill over there on the right side. But man, take another look at Nonato in action.
Nonato is unbelievable. She's been one of the best defensive players on Max Preps for the entire season. She's always up in the top 3, along with the other defensive specialist on Turling's side.
Isabel Bilodeau has been a big reason why STM has been so successful, has really stepped into the middle position. You see the big kill right there.
Yeah. St. Thomas More's strengths are the middle, whereas Turling's, the strength is on the opposite. So there was definitely a mismatch there in the match.
Izzy Hebert, Coach Terry's daughter, watch the arm swing here. Just a brilliant shot. Turlings Catholic, as you said, Coach, strong on both of the pins. Here's Dee Asbury killing it. This lefty on the right side, she's going to get a couple kills here. Talk about Dee Asbury and the importance of having a lefty on the right side.
Well, Dee has a different angle she's going to take, but she has been phenomenal the entire her last 2 years. We got a chance to play him in the semifinals last year, and she definitely turned the game around. She's very powerful. She sets a great block, and notice how wide she gets to the outside, and whoop, right there on the angle, she's able to use the block and just put the ball away.
That was set 2. Now watch this, maybe the cut shot of the year. Coach, watch this, Ryan Machado, and they're going to replay it as well. Watch, I couldn't believe it. Watch it. Coming up right here. Here it is. That was the replay of the set point from before. Here it is. Watch the cut shot. First, a beautiful dig by Nonato again, but here it comes. Back set.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. That's almost like, that's incredible. She basically bent it like Beckham. How did she get that around that antenna? I have
look
no
at her
idea.
momentum. Her momentum was going hard right, and she cups back. That is like the 3-foot line.
That's not fair. That's not fair. That shot was not fair. That was a great play.
Hey, St. Thomas More libero, look at that pancake right there. Eleanor Guidry, we leave her out sometimes, but we shouldn't. Makes another great play there. Guidry was phenomenal in this match. 2 great ups on this particular rally.
Yeah, talking to Coach Jess throughout the season, her big thing was we are great at defense, and she, of course, brought her liberos. She goes, Jodee, she's young, but she's really good, and you can see that by how she plays.
That was AC Abear, the setter dump there on set point for set 3. So it's 2-1 Turlings Catholic. We're at set 4 right now. And that setter dump was unbelievable. STM pulls away late. Watch the big block coming up on the right side. Andy Dewey. Going to see a replay of that as well. And that's 24-19. Watch it again, Coach.
I mean, she just takes the whole ball there. She seals the net, and you can't do anything about that. She reaches over, and the ball's tight, and the outside hitter has no chance of getting that ball in.
And here's match point is set 5 went to St. Thomas More. And just, again, the atmosphere in the crowd, I mean, that is spectacular high school volleyball environment.
Yeah, and the beauty of, like I said, against Sam Houston when St. Thomas More played them. Sam Houston was ahead 2-0. Just now Turlings was up 2-1. And St. Thomas More's got that special swag where they don't get excited if they're down. They're able to pull back, and that's what winners do. They find a way to win. It's not upsetting because they're making mistakes, because they don't make a lot of mistakes, as you can tell watching the game. They're just they're regimented. Yeah, they're very mentally tough, and you can see that every time they play.
So fun to watch. Tremendous play on both sides of the net. We didn't have time to go through all the games that we had last week, but it is time to bring in our next guest who had an impressive win on the road. Let's go up north and bring in Bekki Bonnaffee, the head coach at Hanan. Coach, what a week it's been. What a season it's been for Hanan. I was alluding to the win you had at Mount Carmel last Monday, coming off of your Hanan tournament and having a great run there, and then picking up a big win against Mount Carmel on Monday. And I know that's always a great matchup every time you two teams play.
It is. Every year when we play Mount Carmel, it's a battle, and this year was no different. We came off the weekend having lost to Dominican in three sets, and just we're determined to get back on track. And the girls didn't disappoint. They came out and played tough, played strong, served better. Defense was a little bit better. And I was just happy that we were able to bounce back from that 3-set loss to Dominican.
So, Coach, also having a great year, but you pick up your 500th win this year, and you get to do it with your daughter. Tell us how that feels.
That was amazing, and still makes me tear up a little bit. It was very special. I have really enjoyed having her with me through it all, and I hope she enjoyed it too. We've grown together a lot. She's grown tremendously in the last few years, and I feel very blessed to have been with her and to have us, do so well together. She's a really good player, and she wants to do well. She just wants to win. Never once ever asked me about a stat. Never cared about that. Just wanted to win and do well. So very blessed.
We'll bring up the stats. How about to the tune of over 1,500 career kills, over 1,000 career digs, a lot of milestones this year around Louisiana volleyball. Of course, your setter, Sarah Kirsch, with 4,000 assists. Unbelievable. Yeah. But I know all those things that you just said, the most important record is 35-3. Your overall record, you've been sensational this year. Put it into words. And I know, obviously, it probably starts with the great setter-hitter connection, 4-year starters as seniors. How would you describe your volleyball team and how successful you've been so far this year?
Just like I said, just as I said that Sophie wasn't ever concerned about stats. None of the team really is. I have to say, I don't get asked very much about that. They just want to do well. My team wants to win. So the 35-3 record is wonderful, but still, that's not what's most important to us. We want to do well all the way until the last game, so we get that win at the end. Beating the good teams is fun and we love it. But I always bring them back really quick and say, this is great, but this is not the state tournament. So, we need to keep things in perspective and make sure that we're still showing up for each set.
So Coach, they always say, your team plays to their coach, their characteristics, and your kids are just like that. You can never tell if you're winning or losing. But I will say, watching that Dominican game, you got a little aggravated, which is actually out of character for you. Well, but I mean, I think that is why your team is so good. Your the way their behavior is, they don't get too excited, they don't get too down. You can't even tell what the score is. And I think that's a reflection on great coaching, but also on just what you teach them every day. So tell us the secret. What do you do that your kids are so disciplined like that? Tell us.
I don't know if it's a secret. I just try to teach them that no matter what happens, you still have to get your serve in. You still have to make that pass off of serve receive. You still have to put the ball in play. We do a lot of drills where we're just, it's cooperative, you're just keeping the ball in play. And sometimes that's what it comes down to, who can keep the ball in play the longest. But when you have a setter like Sarah Kirsch, who doesn't get rattled, she just doesn't, if she's doing awesome, she has the same face on as if she's not doing great. So she is amazing. And she, it's what we are very blessed to fall back on a lot, because like I said, she doesn't get rattled. She just keeps on doing her thing. And if she makes one bad set, she comes back with 3 good ones. So it's a blessing that we can count on that every game.
Just looking at your
up. Can I follow up on that?
Yep.
Sorry,
yes.
Gary. So my follow up is, I've been to a lot of tournaments and I watch the parents of your team. You always talk about culture, and your community is just like that also. They very much so. You never hear any bad talking in the stands, and they're always partying between games, before games, after games. They're always in a tent somewhere. Yeah. Your parents are cool. They really are.
We have been very blessed these last several years where, for the most part, we're all getting along. We're all cheering for the team, not for one kid, not for one person. And I think them spending time together just helps that along. And, where they do it and how they do it is just one more good thing, I guess.
I happen to spend some time at the tent in Homa at the CCA tournament, and I can absolutely confirm what Jodee just said. Cool parents. But when I just looking at your roster, you knew you were going to have a good team this year, but I knew you were really good when we were driving out of Mobile after Mount Carmel played at that point, maybe their best match of the season, and lost in 3 to a very talented McGill-Tulane team at the Catholic Cup. And one of the parents texted us and said, "Hey, we just beat McGill-Tulane." And I'm like, I think you beat him 2-0 maybe. I'm like, oh my gosh, you beat McGill-Tulane. It was 3? It was 3?
3 battling sets. Yeah, I mean, that was definitely one of the highlights of the season for sure. I mean, I don't know how many people can say they beat McGill-Tulane, and I'm happy to say it.
Right.
But it was definitely a highlight. And that was definitely one of those games where I was like, well, I feel like we just won state, but we didn't. So
yes.
I'm back to home earth. So
I bring that up because I want to get to what possibly might have been the best I've seen you play ever. Your team was in front of Jodee Pulizzano as well against Parkview Baptist. Justin, if you would roll some highlights from that one that we had on VSN. Your team played so very well. And I bring this up too for a reason, because I want to talk about Division III and how loaded this is with you as the number 1 seed, Parkview Baptist. This is the number 2 seed in Division III, and you went through them like a buzzsaw in 3 sets. There are so many great teams in that division. If you could tell me a little bit about that match, but more about Division III and how loaded it is this season and how hard it's going to be to fight your way all the way to the top of the mountain.
Our division is very loaded. We have some very good teams, and we've played. The only one we haven't played yet is Edie White, and in the top 4. So I'm keeping an eye on them too. But for this game, for the Parkview Baptist game, my girls just were determined to make a statement. They wanted they wanted everybody to know that we're here and we're working hard, and we're not just going to go away and back down. So they made sure that happened. I'm just watching the highlights. It's fun. But, everything they did with a purpose, and they just fought hard every single point and never let up. And that's what we talked about. Just, making sure that we set the standard early. And
look at those digs by Hollencheck in that game.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
She was phenomenal. Yeah. She did great.
Yeah. And you kept the ball away from their middle. And when she did swing, Hollencheck was right there to dig balls.
Yeah. Yeah. We did a good job of that. We Sarah always does a great job of moving the ball around. She's so smart, but I feel like, our hitters were on, and that helps too. And in that match, we served particularly well, and they hit the spots that I told them to hit. So that helps for sure.
Coach, if you can, tell us about some of your other players like Bevelo or Mia Phillips, some of the other players and Reese Foster that have been so instrumental in your success this year.
Yeah. Bevelo is a middle. She's young. She's only in 10th grade, but she has made huge strides this year. She is just way more, what's the word I'm looking for?
Mature.
Aggressive. She's way more aggressive. Definitely has matured. Can see the court a little bit better than she was last year. Last year she wasn't even on varsity. So I mean, for her to come out and be a starter, she's amazing. I have a DS, Avery Lewis, who blonde, I don't know, her number's 14.
Yes. Yep.
But she is a tough server, and she's another one, 10th grader, who just reads the ball well, reads her hitters well, and just is great back there. And then we have Reese on the right side, who you just never know what Reese is going to do. And she's super aggressive, and she just wants to play and have fun and win. So that's a good combination, I think. And then you throw Miranda in there as a libero, and we're just, when we're on, we're really, really good.
Coach, I saw y'all. Yes, you're really good when everybody's on. Yeah. I mean, that's almost like every team, but I mean, your team is special this year. They really are. Thanks.
I think so. I think I got a great group of girls. I have to say that we have gelled really well. They've all been getting along great, and that is tremendous, especially with girls.
Oh yes.
Coach, you're on the road at Pearl River on Tuesday. Is there anything else in this last week of the regular season for you?
Yes, we play Bogalusa in a doubleheader today here at Hanan, and then Friday and Saturday we go to the Skeleton Classic in Baton Rouge, and we play Hahnville and Morgan City. We play John Curtis last on Saturday, and then oh my gosh, the fourth team is slipping my mind.
So you do play in the tournament. You do play in that tournament, heading into the playoffs. I guess my follow-up would be just your philosophy on coaching as you get this late in the season and preparing for a run at the state championship.
But we just want to maintain our stream of thought here, that we can do this, and that we should be able to do this, and that they have to have that mindset that we're going into the playoffs and we're getting ourselves ready for that. Not taking any points off, making sure that every serve is in to the best we can, and learning a little bit more as we go, so that when it comes time for that final game, hopefully we're in it.
I mean, congrats. What a great season. I mean, this is it for you and your daughter, though. Then you got to move on there, Bekki.
You're going to make me cry on camera, Jodee.
I'm sorry. I don't want to do that.
No crying on camera, Jodee. It is. It's super special. And, I couldn't ask for anything more. She's done great. We we've been successful, and all the milestones that we were able to do together. And that's super, super special.
Well, look, it has been a joy and a pleasure following this team, covering this team, and we plan on doing a lot more. So just keep it up. Best of luck to you. And I'm sure Jodee and I will be saying hi to you and interviewing you at the Cajun Dome in about a week and a half.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate both of you for everything.
Well, more than welcome. Thanks so much.
Have a good day.
All right, you too. That's Bekki Bonnaffee, state championships, multiple state titles at Hanan, and what a job their team has done this year. It's time for us to take a break here on VSN Volleyball Weekly. When Coach Jodee Pulizzano and myself return, we're going to look at the schedule of games that are on the VSN broadcast schedule this week, and we're going to bring in another guest. That's Mount Carmel head coach Taylor Richey when we return.
Since 2000, Bayou Granite has grown to be Southeast Louisiana's largest fabricator of stone countertops. From precise laser measurements to state-of-the-art water jet and CNC machines, we can handle your kitchen and bath needs as well as any commercial projects. Let our expert staff design and customize the right material for your home or business. Stop by our new state-of-the-art fabrication facility and showroom today at 9622 East Main Street, or call us at 985-637-4911. And don't forget to like us on Facebook.
At Harvey Gulf International Marine, we believe in being the best, in challenging the mundane, and in continually evolving as masters of our craft. We are reliable, forward-thinking, customer-focused, and committed to protecting the environment and the health and safety of the lives that we impact. At Harvey Gulf, we're committed to our people, our environment, and our performance. We're committed to unsurpassed excellence.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience, shopper style.
Oh yeah!
Welcome back to VSN Volleyball Weekly. Eric Richey alongside Jodee Pulizzano. Coach Jodee, we looked behind us. Now let's look what's coming up in front of us. The VSN Volleyball broadcast schedule, again, loaded with great games every day of the week. Starting today on Monday, South Lafourche at CCA. Look, Craig Hamner's team has been spectacular. Really has. First year, they beat Homa Christian. I don't know if you had a chance to see the highlights, Coach Jodee. They beat Homa Christian in a 5-set war. 2 of the sets went like 28-26. Great environment. So happy to have CCA on board as a VSN affiliate this year. And so happy for Coach Craig after years at Terrebonne. He's getting the job done now at Covenant Christian.
Yeah, he did a great job at Terrebonne, and he's just, going to the next, what a great opportunity for him. And he does a great job with coaching. That's what he does.
Coach Keith and Westminster Christian Academy, they're going to be hosting Sacred Heart on Tuesday. Also, a couple of senior nights, Coach Dunham at Newman and St. Amant at Parkview Baptist.
Well, after talking to some people this week, Westminster Christian is hot. And right now there's a battle between ESA, Westminster Christian, and Ascension Episcopal to win in that district. So that's going to be a fight for Division 5. It's not going to come easy to Country Day as it has in the past. Those 3 schools are beating up each other. So that should be interesting. You always got to love senior night. I mean, that's to pay tribute to the seniors who have done so much for the program.
Senior night at Sacred Heart for J.J. Wan's team as well on Wednesday. We'll be bringing you that one on VSN. And Coach Jodee, I know where you're going to be on Wednesday. Mount Carmel and Dominican really take 3, but it's really take 2 as far as head-to-head matches in the regular season. This won't be considered a district game, but guarantee you that Mount Carmel has poked the bear, the number 1 team in our Power 25, and we'll release the Power 25 later this week with all the beach volleyball we had on our plate. But Mount Carmel and Dominican flat out doesn't get much better.
No, not at all. And Dominican, after they take that loss to Mount Carmel, goes and blows through the Hanan Classic and just beats Hanan in the finals. So It should be interesting how Mount Carmel approaches this, because it's kind of hard to beat a team over and over again. And we've known in the past history that it seems like in state, Mount Carmel will be playing Dominican again. So, I mean, how do you do it as a coach? Do you go vanilla where you don't show them much, or do you go out there to beat them and use all of your little tricks?
Thursday, we've got a triple header for you. Dominican one more time, this time hosting Chalmette. Also, our new VSN affiliate, Vanderbilt Catholic, and Coach Latasha Wise-Jackson. They've been playing great volleyball. They'll be hosting Letcher, and as well as you'll be at this one too, Coach, AOL at Haynes. It's the first time we've been able to see Haynes on our spotlight matchup, and certainly looking forward to seeing Coach Ashley and the Voce sisters and Granados and et cetera on this awesome team.
Yeah, the Feehans too. I mean, I can't wait to go to see how beautiful their court is. I mean, they move into a new facility. It's bigger, it's better. They build a brand new locker room for the girls. So I'm excited to go to Haynes and to call this game, especially since I know a lot of the girls that play. I've known their parents, and, it's always nice to do that.
Virginia Voce saw me at the beach tournament this weekend, and she asked me specifically, is Coach Jodee doing our game Thursday? I'm like, yes, she is. She's like, yes. So the love is mutual for sure. And we have love for AOL and Don Landry and his team that have played very good volleyball this season. Again, winning a lot of games, Coach. It's going to be a good one, AOL and Haynes on Thursday.
It definitely is. I actually checked out Don's schedule, and they are just running through team. I mean, they beat Belchase last week to win, I believe, district. So they're just cruising like they always do right before state. And, I mean, this is a good tune-up game for them because Haynes is good.
One of those big games, maybe the biggest. It's our second pink game with Mount Carmel and Dominican. It's time to bring in our next guest. And for that, we head to the North Shore and join Mount Carmel first-year head coach Taylor Richey. Coach, welcome to the program and congratulations. What a first season it has been for you as a head coach.
Yes, it really has.
Does it compare to as when you were a player?
I think it's a little more exciting and just more, I guess, intense for me as a coach, because there's nothing I can do physically out there. It's all just talking the girls through the game and strategy versus actually being able to get out there and do something myself.
What has stood out about year one? If you were to, obviously there's a lot of meat left on the bone, so to speak, for this season, but if you were to kind of summarize it right now, how would you describe the first year as a head coach for you?
I would say a lot of up and downs, like a roller coaster. Just trying to figure things out, how to navigate the girls and get them to reach their full potential. I would say that it's been a challenge, but we are finally getting to where we need to be.
So Mount Carmel history is pretty it's long and very lustrous. Y'all won a lot of state championships, and I'm sure you've dug back and you found out that running a 5-1 was more influential than actually running a 6-2. And I think it has to do with subs. I mean, if you sub your setter out, then you're struggling with numbers, and that way you can't really put your best defensive players in the back row. So you made that choice, which was big. So what was the reason why you went to a 5-1 this year, and has it worked?
So I was actually laying in bed one night, just looking at stats from the NCAA, and I was came across that it's been like over 20 years since a Division I college has won running a 6-2. So then I wound up going back and looking at the history of Mount Carmel and realizing we've won more state finals with a 5-1. So that kind of led to my decision and trying that out. And I think it's been working well for us. And I mean, we've been finding success doing it.
Well, I can tell you that the Richey family was a big fan of that decision early on in the preseason. So we appreciate that. And so 2 monumental wins this season that really stand out to me. And, knowing that, your coaching history as a club coach under Danny Tullis at WD, and getting a chance to go head to head with Coach Danny, who's having a terrific year in his first season at Slidell. You go on the road up there and win a tremendous match. What did that mean to you to beat Danny Tullis head to head, your first time as a varsity head coach?
It meant a lot. I mean, me and him are always in the gym together during club. So it was funny just with the officiating, some things that were being called against us that both of us teach. And so it was fun. You know, it's fun to always get to go up against him because he's so competitive. I'm so competitive. And like I said, we're in a gym together in the spring all the time. So it was just fun.
I got a follow-up too. Of course, the second big win was winning the pink game against Dominican. We have some video. Justin, go ahead and roll some video from the pink game victory against Dominican. Take me through that day for you and what it was like. The nerves, obviously. You knew everybody associated with Mount Carmel volleyball, the student section, the student body, VSN, all the lights were going to be shining on you that day. What was it like? And take me through the game itself.
I really went into the game. I wasn't as focused on winning as I was just the girls showing up and playing well and competing and not being nervous and afraid to play. And I just think that they finally, what we've been talking about this season is just being competitive, getting fired up, getting some fire under you, and just working for your points and winning. And I really think that each and every one of them stepped up. All 6 or 9 players that were on the court, every single one of them contributed to that win.
Well, Coach, I was there, and it was really an incredible match. But the first game, you had to be thinking, I guess we're not going to show up. It was 25-14. Dominican put on a clinic. And then the next game, you guys do the same thing. You put on a clinic, and then after that, it was just point for point. Yes. What I really liked is I thought you did a great job with strategy, especially your kids being able to hit the corners and hit the seams. I don't know if you worked on that, but it definitely made a big difference. You switched people around on the right side. Were you watching a lot of films? Is that how you decided to make those plays or what?
Yeah, so we watched film and we had worked on it. We talked about that kind of being a strategy going into this match. And so we've been, working on different strategies now going into playing them tomorrow, of course. But yeah, we just, after that first set, I was like, y'all cannot do this with everybody who has showed up, with all the work we've been putting in, with all the film we have watched. Like, this cannot happen. Every single one of you needs to step up right now and contribute to this team in one way or another. And they really came out and they did.
Every year that Mount Carmel and Dominican play each other twice in matches in the regular season, one of those is a district game. The match at Mount Carmel this season was the district game, so congratulations. You will be district champions this year in your first year as the head coach at Mount Carmel. But you have them again, and it's always an important game anytime these two rivals meet. What is your philosophy going into this week and this week's game on the road at Dominican?
Really just, like I've been saying, getting everybody to show up and play consistent. Because, a lot of the times we've been very inconsistent. Like I said, it's been a roller coaster to where, only half the team will show up to play, or in some matches, half the team shows up. And then in the next match, the other half will show up. And so just getting them all on the same page of showing up and having some fire to win.
Well, Coach, I will say, watching that game, I believe you had 4 of your players in double-digit kills, which does not happen. You had Karachi, she had 15, Estrada had 12, Savoy had 16, and Dara had 14. For people that don't understand volleyball, that's big. That means you're getting the ball to everyone, and they're doing what they need to do. If you have a game like that again, Dominican's going to struggle with you. For sure.
I believe so. And so that's just our goal, is to get everybody to contribute. And our setter, Emma, she moves the ball around well. So, it's just the hitters actually doing their job, because like I said, our setter, she moves the ball around. Our defense, they get the ball up. We just need those hitters to show up and put the ball away and do their job.
And I have a
You just-
follow-up.
yeah,
I have
you
one
go ahead.
follow-up. So
Yes.
one of your players did not play in that pink game, right? Correct? Didn't she have a
Yes.
concussion?
Yes, I had a defender.
So how does
with
that? Yeah.
concussion.
So does that makes a difference? I mean, I would assume that makes a big difference, especially when a defender is not there. Even
I
though your backup did a great job.
Yeah, I was about to say, yes, she definitely stepped in and she did what she needed to do, which is great. And I just think, Mia coming back, I think it will be, good for us. The girls are just used to working with her a little bit more than Emma, but I think Emma really stepped up and did her job. So we'll see with Mia.
Yes, Mia Lopez and Emma Palermo you were just referring to. Want to talk about your other two back row players that we've all come to know and love, and obviously Nola Savan. This will be her curtain call on a marvelous 4-year run as a starting libero for Mount Carmel. The returning All-State player has been sensational again, was outstanding against Dominican in that win, over 40 digs. And then right next to her, Olivia Meyer has been sensational as well. As a DS, especially just digging balls like, are you kidding me? Talk about those two players, if you would, Coach, and throw in Mia and Colby Pichon as far as defensive players for this team.
Yeah, I think they step up. They make the plays when we need it. They read the court and the hitters really well. And so I think that is a big advantage for our back row, is just being able to read and anticipate what the hitters will be doing next. It really helps us be able to run an offense.
Let me talk about the middles. Let's give Emily Caracci, Brooke Dara some love, because I've never seen a team where the two middles have been like 1-2 in kills almost the whole season. Giselle Estrada has obviously stepped up and had some great games lately. But tell me about the middles. Their hitting percentage, both well into the 300s. Their blocks are over 80, both of them. Tell me about your middles for Mount Carmel and how important they will be moving forward as you get into this, this next postseason run.
So we really just emphasize, a middle, it's a hard ball to defend. It's a hard ball to block. So we really work on a lot at practice, getting in on every single ball, no matter where the ball is at, always being involved. And I think them two, they just do a great job at doing that. And it shows. They lead us in our kills, and pretty much a lot of games have carried us to be successful and to win. And we just stress that importance in them. Also, being able to help our outsides or our right sides be open, get an open net, because we run them so much. So people like to sit on them and watch them. So they just really help get us open.
All right, I got one more follow-up, Coach, real quick, Jodee. Outsides. Not one pin hitter returned with varsity experience this season, right? You lost Wickersham, Page. You lost both of your right sides as well. Julia Savoie and Giselle Estrada, in particular, Caroline Harris as well, has stepped up. But tell me about your outside, your pin hitters, and tell me about that left hand that Julia Savoie has utilized so much this year. I swear, half of her kills are coming from the left-handed side. It's unbelievable. I love that shot.
Yeah, so I think it can be confusing for defenders, just not really expecting the left hand, and she throws the ball so well with her left. I've tried getting her to use her right, and it's just the left. She's more strong with the left, and I don't understand it, but we let her roll with it, because I'm like, hey, you know what? It's working. We're not going to change anything up.
That's exactly right. If something works, you don't switch it.
We're not going to change it. We're not going to, make you stop doing it because you have been successful with it. And as far as Giselle, I think it's finally clicking for her now at this end of this season. She has really stepped up into her position, and she's been playing phenomenal lately. So I'm so excited to see what she's going to do at this game on Wednesday.
That's going to be a big one, Coach.
Yeah.
No doubt. Well, listen, we're going to let you go. Just tell Levi we said hello and thanks for behaving. He is an awesome little child. If you've seen Coach Taylor in club or in high school, her mom and her son, Levi, are very close. Yes. He does a great job. He's such an awesome little personality he's got already.
Oh, yes. He's a tripper. He's been in the gym since 6 weeks old. At 6 weeks, we were jumping on a plane heading to Denver for tournament. So since 6 weeks, he's been in the gym.
And baby Richey number 2 is due in the middle of December.
Yes.
Well, congratulations and best of luck on that. And what a run it's been to this point already. So happy for you, what you've been able to accomplish already this year. And best of luck down the road. As we said, huge one on Wednesday, and then it's the playoffs.
Yes. We still have so much more. I keep telling them, I'm like, we are not finished with our season. We have not really accomplished much. We have to keep pushing. So,
well, congrats, Coach. Great job on your first year.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
All right. Take care, Coach. Bye-bye.
We'll talk to y'all later.
See you soon.
Bye.
All right. Time for us to take a break here on VSN Volleyball Weekly. When we return, I see you and Max Prep stats and one last take with Coach Jodee. That's worth sticking around for just on its own. We're back after this. Varsity Sports Now would like to thank the friends of VSN Volleyball, Bella Zoya Properties, and the Bernadas family, wishing former Cub Sarah Bernadas the best of luck at TCU this year. White Sands Beach Volleyball Complex and Seegers Sandbar, Crew Volleyball Club, Louisiana South Volleyball Club, the grandparents of Mount Carmel setter Emma Richey, Jim and Terry Lynn, wishing number 4 the best of luck this season.
Before planning the big trip, you were limping thanks to a bad knee. Then you heard about Mako robotic-assisted knee replacement. It starts with a CT scan to pinpoint the problem that becomes a personalized 3D plan to guide your doctor during surgery. Mako can help lead to better outcomes, like less pain and shorter recovery times. The lifetime of a knee implant is limited, and revision surgery may be required. Individual results and recovery times vary. Risks of surgery include pain, infection, heart attack, stroke, death, and other serious risks. Ask your doctor for important safety information. To find a doctor who uses Mako, visit makocan.com.
Elevate your program's fundraising this season with Vertical Raise. Vertical Raise is the premier online fundraising platform for organizations of all sizes using innovative technology to create the easiest and most efficient system available. Raise more money in less time with a local fundraising coach who works with you every step of the way to customize the ideal fundraiser for your program. To find out more, visit verticalraise.com.
Welcome back to our final segment of VSN Volleyball Weekly, but it is by no means our least important segment because we've got 3 things that we've kind of narrowed this segment into, and we're going to kick it off, Coach Jodee, with one of your favorites, the Max Preps Louisiana Stat Leaders.
Yep, I love this part because it just shows the kids that just get up there consistently time and time again. So let's start with Diggs, my favorite. So the top 5 players in the state right now is Lauren Pipitone from Dominican, 586 digs. Nola Savine from Mount Carmel, 548 digs. Ella Bankston from Laranger at 538 digs. Kenley Nonato, the Turlings libero, at 509 digs. And guess what? Eleanor Guidry from St. Thomas More with 431 digs.
Love it.
And let's go to kills now. Yeah, this hasn't changed much. It's usually a flip-flop between Hanan and Slidell. But Reagan Robinson from Slidell is leading with 486 kills. Then Sophia Bonnaffee at Hanan with 474. Then Cam Chatelier at Dominican with 425. Neil Berry is rounded in the top 5 from Vanderbilt Catholic at 348. And then Sanaya Rahim of Catholic New Iberia with 312. Assist, Slidell, Ava Labat with 1,100. That's incredible. Emma Richey, Mount Carmel, 1,075. Sarah Kirsch at Hanan has exactly 1,000. Reese Mulbert from Catholic New Iberia, 975. And last but not least, Gabby Marcello with 898 from Dominican. This week, I went through and got teams that were leading in 2 categories that are the most important in winning. And the first is hitting percentage. That means you make the least amount of errors. And basically, it's a team. So number 1 team in the state with their hitting percentage is hitting 346 as a team is Slidell High School. Next is hitting 340 as a team, Natchitoches Central. Hitting 275 as a team, number 3, Dominican. Next, hitting 268 as a team, Hanan. And then last but not least, hitting 262 as a team, Lafayette Christian. And remember, the least amount of errors you make, the more chance you are of winning. And then, of course, my favorite, digs as a team. The dig leaders as a team, of course, that's why they're number 1 in the state, number 1 in all our polls, is Dominican at 2,181. Mount Carmel is right behind them at 2,113. Next is Turlings. We know the Nonato over there and that whole team is great on defense. 2,055 digs. Next is Laranger at 1,942. And last but not least is Lafayette Christian with 1,772. Let's go through that. I know. I love them. I'm going to do that every week. And then AVCA Player of the Weeks. We missed week 8 and this is week 9. So I'm going to do both. Week 8 Player of the Week is Mason Vigil from Mandeville High School on the North Shore. She had 34 kills and 14 blocks. And then AVCA Player of the Week this week, week 9, was Cam Chatelier from Dominican with 95 kills, 79 digs. She passed a 2.632 in serve receive, 7 aces, 4 blocks. And let's not forget about the Go Prep Player of the Week. We had 2 of them. The 8th week was Tylen Bell of Bell Chase. She had 73 kills and 73 digs. And then this week was JC Charlotte of Homa Christian. She was a setter. She had 1,000 career assists, which is a great accomplishment. Congratulations to all those.
Outstanding. I love it. So that's part 1 of our final segment. Part 2 is I See You. Jodee, who did you see?
This week was incredible. So, of course, you cannot leave out the Chappelle Chipmunks. They're making a run right here. They make it to the finals of the Newman tournament, losing eventually to Newman. But you got 2 kids on on that team. Isabella McCann, their outside hitter, their senior, 56 kills, and their libero, Carmen Wetzel, with 57 digs. Let's not forget about the ESA, Anna Bro, their setter opposite, Ryan Simon, the outside hitter from Ascension Episcopal, Anna Ware, the setter from Westminster, Ellen Cormier, the libero from Notre Dame, Addison Baglio, the big hitter from Ursuline. I got the pleasure to go watch them last week. The outside hitter, she's dominating. And let's not forget about that little freshman middle, Layla Henderson from Ursuline. Newman's Tatum Young, Sam Houston's Aubrey Poche, St. Thomas More, you named her earlier. Isabella Bilodeau, she's definitely the real thing. The libero from Cabrini, Alex Rutledge. The libero from Franklin, Lily Mays. And last but not least, the right side hitter, D. Ashbury from Turlings.
Excellent. I like all those. And again, as you said, we've noted a few of those in the highlights and certain things we've done throughout the years, but that's a great list. I always just narrow it down to 1. Mount Carmel went on the road. One of our broadcasts for VSN was this past Saturday morning in Baton Rouge. We went to St. Joe's Academy. As you might expect, C.V. Miller, even with her team under 500, always plays so hard, so well disciplined, great defense, and some good hitters. The person I wanted to single out was their sophomore outside, Gracie Mann. She's a 6 rotation player. She was excellent digging balls out. She was crushing balls from the outside. Mount Carmel won in 4 very hard-fought sets. St. Joe was actually up, I want to say, 24-19 in the 4th set, and it really looked like obviously we were going to 5, but Mount Carmel went on a run and sealed it in 4. But Gracie Mann is a great beach player as well. She's spectacular in indoor. You're going to be hearing a lot about Gracie Mann over the next couple of years, just a sophomore. Gracie Mann, I see you. All right.
I'm telling you, Division I is wide open. We all look at the number 1s and the number 2s, but there is the top 16 in Division I. It's going to be hard to get through.
Real quick, here's a little trivia quiz. Not even trivia. I'm just going to see if you have any idea. Where do you think St. Joe's is right now in the PowerPoints, at least going into Saturday?
14, 15?
22.
Whoa.
Are you kidding me? Wow.
Dude, that's yeah.
So they're going to have some.
And again, look at their schedule, though. Eric,
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we were talking about on Saturday. Frank Carasi and I during the game. I mean, they play just all the top teams in the state. And
gauntlet, baby, a gauntlet.
They do. And every year, CV Miller has this team raring to go. So I would not expect anything less this year. It's going to be fun making it around. They're going to have to go on the road, right, as a 22, but it's going to be fun watching them. Okay, there's the second segment, the ICU segment. The last one is apropos. One last take. Coach Jodee, you're up first.
Well, so, you talked about sand volleyball, and, sometimes as the community, we don't understand the difference between sand volleyball and court volleyball. The common word is volleyball, which the average spectator sees as a simple game with a ball and a net. The commonalities are the skills, of course, of passing, setting, spiking, hitting, but this is why LA players, our Louisiana volleyball players, are flocking to the sand. And that you named all the locals that are playing big time sand volleyball in the colleges, which is an incredible compliment to our type of players, because you don't have to rely on your height. We are very small here. You don't have to rely on speed and power and athleticism. You have to rely, though, on strategy. So the game is totally different. It has a heavier ball, which most people don't realize. It's a smaller court. The strategy is different, and you only use 2 people to cover the entire court. Sand volleyball, and this is why Louisiana players are so successful, you have to think for yourself. And the grittier players are dominating on the beach. And if you look at all the kids you just said, those are our gritty players, and that's where they flock to, is sand volleyball. Keep following these Louisiana high school girls we keep talking about, and go find them on the beach when you get a chance.
That's an excellent last take. And I'm going to just segue right into my last take, and I'm going to keep it in the sand. Beach volleyball. My last take was the organization of the Coconut Beach College Beach Volleyball Pairs Tournament that we had the good fortune here at VSN to broadcast live stream. Our crew was outstanding, led by Andrew Byer, who was our play-by-play man all day long. We started 8:30 in the morning was our first match, which meant obviously our crew, led by guys like Michael Cortello, Gabe Garza, Brian McCauley, and it was also Ron Kennedy as an artist running his gimbal cam, wireless cam, just got so many great shots. But again, Andrew did that play-by-play from 8:30. There was a match, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, all the way up to 4:30 as championship. So it was indeed a marathon, but I wanted to single out Sean Taylor, the head coach at Southern Miss, because this was his idea, along with Rob Bruce, who is the restaurant bar manager at Coconut Beach. They're the ones that realized in the last couple of years, there's more significance for the fall season for beach volleyball, which of course is a spring sport. More points are being awarded for these pairs tournament. There's an actual national championship that they have later in the year in Huntsville in the fall. Now, this is the fall sports season, because the actual college beach volleyball season is so short. It's actually one of the shortest seasons of any college sport. So I was having a lot of fun out there, and I just certainly wanted to just single out and say my one last take is, way to go. More beach volleyball, the better. And it was a pleasure to bring college beach volleyball back to VSN. All right, that'll do it for this show. But Coach Jodee, why don't you tell everyone what our Monday show next week will be? It'll actually be Tuesday, a special edition of VSN Volleyball Weekly. And why is that? What are we going to do?
We are going through playoffs,
tournament bracket show. We're going to do the bracket show. We've done it every year for, 3-4 years. I know your team used to have a watch party for this show.
Yep.
So we're certainly excited about doing it this year. We're going to do it very similar to this style. We're not going to go to Loyola University, and Albert DuPont has been so hospitable with their studios. We're going to do it right here, make it super easy. We have a scheduling conflict on Monday, so we're going to do it Tuesday, and it's going to be great. We'll have, we'll try to get as many of the number 1 seeds, their coaches, to represent each of the 5 divisions, and then, throw it out there, some different teams that, maybe don't get the publicity or people aren't looking at, that Coach Jodee and I feel, hey, there's a reason that we need to highlight this team.
Definitely. Can't wait to do that. That's always an exciting time of the year.
It is. It is. Well, listen, thank you, Coach Jodee. Great to have you here on this awesome show that we've been doing all season. Justin Thomas, great job directing, and our live streaming graphics coordinator, as well as our guest, Bekki Bonnaffee and Taylor Richey. Man, it's that time, Coach. Let's put a wrap to this regular season, and let's do some playoff volleyball as we get ready to rock on to the next part of this season. So great job, and we'll see you again real soon.